All right, hello guys. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's session. Welcome to day two of the Nocode Africa training. Yeah. I can see that some persons have joined the studio. I have Jay and Basit of Africa in their studio. So yeah, the guys in the studio, please, you're going to help me out. If at all I have, like, maybe if there's an issue, maybe you're not seeing me clearly, and any other problem that might actually arise somehow, you just need to prompt me. Okay, and then I can see a lot of persons have also joined, so I will just do some basic greetings. Daniel, I can see you. Welcome. Ivan, Bami Femi, Bethan, Joy Albert, Ediene, Jesu Joba. Yeah, welcome guys. So we're going to start like very soon. Daniel, okay, Tai. All right. Welcome guys. So it's really good to have you again here, and we're going to like start the training like right now while waiting for others to join. Yeah, because today we're going to just do just 1 hour. Yeah, it's today's one is supposed to be like way more intense than yesterday. Yeah, so I just really hope that um oh, okay. Tech next just said I should go slow today. Okay, so if I'm gonna go slow today, then 1 hour might not be enough, right? So, but I'll just try to be slow a bit. Yeah, because today's class it's going to be a little bit intense, right? Because you're going to learn how to like query data from query your data collection, your collections on Firebase. So it's a little bit complex, but I will try to see how we can like make it easy to understand. Yeah, but after you finish today's class and then you've done of course, we've already done the Logino app. That's the login logout functionality in FlutterFlow Firebase. So with today's lesson, it will be like really, really, you'll be very close to finishing your, what is it called? Like, not like finishing. You'll be very close to being confident using FlutterFlow application to build mobile applications, right? Yeah. So, uh, Victor is saying, let's go intense. All right. So let's just see how we can go on this. 1 hour is appropriate. We can always fall back to the video. Okay, great, great. All right, guys. So we'll try to work within 1 hour. All right, I'm gonna share my screen right now, and then we can start the whole thing. Okay, so yes, this is the screen. All right, so yeah, so we're going to be learning how to use FlutterFlow, and then we'll be building a food menu application. Yeah, so from my own side, like the way I learn by I learned via project-based learning. Yeah, so I try to find a project and then I work on it and all that. So I believe that if at all we are building a project, a full project together, right? You get to learn a lot of small components inside it, and it will be better that way instead of just telling you, okay, this is what this one does, this is what this one does, and all of that. So let's just be building projects, and then eventually you'll be able to like build something really tangible. Okay, so I will go ahead and sign in into FlutterFlow. So some persons had issues with using FlutterFlow, and then I suggested using the VPN, this VPN here called Free VPN. Yeah, so I think it can solve the problem for most persons. For me, I don't know, it works without the VPN, and then well, but I always feel comfortable just using VPN. Yeah, so all right, so you can, if it doesn't show, if FlutterFlow doesn't show like this on your, like it doesn't come up, just try and install the free the VPN here. So install it. How do you install it? So you just go to your browser and type because some few persons had that problem, free VPN Chrome. Just type free VPN Chrome, and then you see the very first thing that pops up here, this free VPN for Chrome. You'll go ahead and click on it, and then it will pop this up, and then I think there should be a button here that says add I think either add or connect, something like that. So just click the button that you see here. Mine, it's saying remove from Chrome. So I think the opposite of this should have been add to Chrome. Yeah. So after you've done that, right, you should be able to see these, the icon for the VPN here, right? The icon for the VPN should appear here. So I think if you don't see it, just click on this other icon here for extensions, because this is like an extension to your Chrome. So if you don't see it appear here, just click on this extension icon here, right? Then you will see the free VPN. Then you click on it. Then when it comes up, you have to turn it on. Like right now it's off. So if it is off, it's not going to be able to do what a VPN is supposed to do for you, right? So you have to click to turn it on. And then also you can try to what is it called, you can change your locations. Yeah, you can change your locations depending on what you want. All right, so that's just for that. And then let's go back to FlutterFlow. So yeah, we're just going to build a food menu application. Let me show you a typical example of what we are trying to achieve, right? Let's see, let's come here and see Mommy J. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna build something similar to this, right? Let me say this. Okay, so we're building something like this, something similar to this, right? Almost exactly same thing. So we can just check it out. So you click on this, it takes you to all dishes. You click on, we're supposed to have like a lot of dishes here that is continental dishes. So this is like our local food. It's called afang. It's one of the cool food, like continental food in Nigeria, right? So, but we have other things like okra and all of that. So then if you click on this, it should show you like maybe a bigger perspective of the whole thing, and then the price, a description, and then a button to click to order now. And when you click on this, the basic thing is just for it to take you to WhatsApp. Yeah. So yeah, we will try to like maybe create better functionalities later, but for the scope of this class, we just want to do it that way, because for us to even get to this point is going to choke you. So but we will try to slow down and see how we can make it such that you don't get to like crash while learning this. Okay, so that's like the idea. So there's drinks here, so you can see alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks. You can click on it. Okay, so you can see other things like spirits, beer, wine. I think there's something for wine. Yeah, so Carlo Rossi, and you can click on it, and then you see Carlo Rossi. Then you can click here, and then you see it will take you to WhatsApp, where you can like message the bartender or the person in charge. Okay, so this is just a typical example, an example of something that we're going to be working on, right? So let's go back to see how we can build this. So first of all, I did some basic things. Like I had to go ahead and then get what is it called, I had to get some of the pictures that we're going to use. I just copied, that's the picture addresses, yeah, image address, so that we don't get to try to search for images during the tutorial, which will take a lot of time. So I already did that here. So you will look for your own pictures, or I can make you have access to this. Yeah, so you can make, but I would like you to use your own pictures, like here. So okay, so so how do we start? We first of all start by coming to FlutterFlow and then clicking on create new. Yeah, so we'll click on create new, and then we give our application a name. So we'll just call this Fudo, right? So we'll just call it Fudo. So it's Fudo, it's like the food menu application. Then we click on create blank. All right, so these ones are basic steps, so I can, I can speed up a bit, right? So I believe that even if someone did not attend yesterday, the person can still catch up from what I'm doing. And of course, you can rewatch this video again, please. All right, so it'll bring you to this point, right? Then you can go ahead and click on next step. Just don't worry about touching any of this. You can leave it for now. These are things that you can change later, but just leave them for now. So next step. Then the next thing you're supposed to do is connect to your Firebase project ID, because Firebase is basically like the place where you get to store information for your FlutterFlow project. Let me show you guys something that I checked out this morning. Yeah, so if we come here, all right, okay, sorry, project overview. Now this is like the analytics, right, for usage of the attendance application, right? So we've had like 32,000 reads from all the users. That means, normally for application now, you can read, you can write, you can delete, you can update. So that's reading means someone is getting information from the database, right? So create is put something inside, right? So it's called crude, like create, read, update, and delete, right? So these are the reads so far. And then these are like storage information. By storage here, I think this has to do with the files, the pictures that you've uploaded, your profile pictures, yeah, some basic things, right? So imagine it has taken up to this. If I thought you were using a platform like Dalo wouldn't allow you to stop up to this on the free version, right? So, but this is really cool. Okay, so that's it. So let's go to, this is Firebase, and then this is where we're going to create a new project. The project we're going to create here is, we just click on add project. What did I do? I came to Firebase. Firebase can be found on console.firebase.google.com. Of course, if I thought you're signed into your Gmail, right, you just type you can just type Firebase on Google, right, and it will bring you here. Then from there, you just click on add project, and then we'll call the project Fudo, right? Yeah, so Fudo. And then you can click on continue. Today we'll not be doing lots of reading of things, but I usually advise you to read. So I'll turn off the Google Analytics. It's not complex to set it up, but I don't really, these are test projects, so I don't really need to use so much of the resources that is being provided by Firebase and Google when I'm not going to like launch this application like for active use. So there is really no need. I'll just go ahead and then click on create project. Wait for a couple of minutes, and no, seconds actually. This one takes seconds. And then the project will be completed, and then I will go ahead and continue my development. So let's come back here. Okay, I can close this tab. So we just need to get our Firebase project ID, then we connect FlutterFlow, this FlutterFlow application or FlutterFlow project to Firebase. So the project is ready. So you click on continue. Okay, so we click on continue. The next thing we're going to do is we will just go ahead and come to this gear icon. So you click on the gear icon here, and then click on project settings. And then you will see your project ID here. So this is the project ID. So you just copy it, click and highlight the stuff, and then take it to the application and paste it here. Now, if I paste it here and click on connect, there's going to be an error, right? Yes, I'm very sure you're aware of that. So, but let's just still have the error, then we fix it so that some people that might have had that error will know how to fix it now. So if I click on this, it will tell me that the FlutterFlow does not have access to these Firebase accounts. Please add Firebase at flutterflow.io as an editor, right? So we need to do that. Okay, so we will come here, and then we will go to users and permissions. All right, so I'm gonna try to not hurry too fast, but I have to hurry up so we can actually create something tangible before the end of 1 hour. All right. Okay, so this is it. I'm going to add the here as a Firebase at flutterflow.io, and then I'll change here to editor. Then I'll click on done. Right. Then I'll add member. So that's it. So normally, if at all you're creating your project, you don't need to wait until you get that error. As soon as you've come to check your project ID, right, simultaneously, because it's in the same place. So this is your project where you copy your project ID. So the users and permission is here. So you can always set it up at once before even going to go and paste it here. It saves your time. Well, yeah. So then enable authentication. Well, just go ahead and enable it. We're not really going to create login and log out here. It's just it's direct application. We don't want our users to log in, not yet, not for this particular scope of the project. So, but you can just go ahead and turn this on just to make sure that everything is still in place. So it says select initial pages. Don't worry about this first. Auto generate config files first. Then click on generate files and just wait for a few seconds, and then it will finish creating the configuration files. And after that, you will be able to do some other settings. So it should finish up soon. Depends on your network and your system. That's okay. So this is done. So now it says here entry page, which is supposed to be the login part, and then here it says logged in page. Now we don't want to do logged in here. We just want to make our stuff really fast and simple. So we will go ahead and then we'll disable this, automatically add a user to this, enable authentication. Let's go ahead and just create our entry page. So I'll click on that, and then I will come to entry page. Is going to just be like a list, right? So I will just look for a template here. I will show you the templates that you can use. You can choose to use any template depending on how you want to do it, but I will just try to replicate what I had done before. Yeah, so you can see how it was done. So here is the theme I used. The names might not necessarily be the same all the time, so but it's here. It's called user list tabs. So just click on use my theme, and then we can call these home. We can just call it home, right? Yeah. So then click on create page, and then this, for this particular one, logged in page, if you don't set something here, it's going to give you an error. So we need to turn something off so that this logged in page can disappear. So allow users to log in into your app via Firebase. No, we don't want to do that, right? So no logging in. All right. So the only reason why we had to use Firebase is because we want to be able to store the different details about our food menu. All right. So I turn this off so I can have only initial page, which is just home, right? I'll click on start building. Now with these, I now have the basic design. So it has some names here. So I will just click on here, right? So right now for this training, I think the next training that should be, I'm going to announce the next training, but not now. Yeah. So I'll teach you guys how to like start creating your own, like turn a Figma design into a real design like this instead of using template, because the idea is for you to build a mobile application, you should actually have a Figma design. That's a UI UX design for your application before you go ahead and then create them here. So in the next class, I will teach you how to like do your design yourself. All right, maybe get it, if at all you have an existing UI design, you implement them here. Okay, so here I'll just type Fudo. How did I do that? Okay, so this is just a template. So I came here, there was a text widget. Let me just do Control Z. Yeah, so there was a text widget here. I clicked on the text widget, and then there's a window here on the right hand side where I can, manipulate things about these widgets, right? So, and then this is it. So I can, you can see here, it says there's some things that are written here. So I can just write, where is it? I can write what I want here. So I can write food, Fudo, right? So yeah, I can just call my app Fudo, right? So Fudo. And then the next thing I just need to do is I'm going to try to alter some things. Yes. Now, if you click on this, it's going to bring you here, right? If you click on this, it will bring you here. So this is already done for you. Like it's just basically, it's called, let me see the name again. So it's called the tab bar. So it's more like a widget that you use in creating some form of flow that allows you to switch in between tabs on one screen, right? So this is it. Okay, so what we just want is we want to have just a list view. I'm going to try to explain some things to you here so that you can understand. So for now, let's call this, let's change the name of this. Instead of all, I'll click on it, then I come to the right hand side here and I change it to food, right? So that's going to be our food column, like the part where we will display food. Then here we will display drinks. Okay, then here we will just display extras. Okay, right, extras. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is okay, so now we're going to delete a couple of things. We just want one of these things to be here. Now, for you to be able to like cause something to repeat, like from a database, like for instance, now like this, our Fudo application, we need to do a couple of things. We need to come and create a collection. So that's the next thing we should do actually before we go back and edit our template. I think we should just go ahead and set up the storage, the collections here. Then from there we go back to the FlutterFlow. So we come back to Firebase, then you click on build, and then you go to firestore database. You click on firestore database, and then you just allow it to load. We're not reading a lot of things today, so just click on create database. then it to ask you to, yeah, this is it, start in production mode, start in test mode. We use test mode for the training. Okay, so next, then we go ahead and enable it. All right, so now this is where you're going to store lots of information about your application. All the food menu will be stored here, and then you will read it out of here to your application itself. Okay, so these are like basic steps. These are not really like a difficult part. So we're going to have a couple of collections. Okay, so let me take you guys back to the application. So it looks like this. Let me take you back so you can see. Now this is it. We have a particular column called the food. This is where we are going to display all the food. Now all of these things that are displayed here, they are from the database in Firebase. Like, oh, it's from a collection in Firebase. So we have to create the collection for food. All right, so we'll create a collection for food, and it will have like some documents. Now let me show you guys something. So anything that has to do with this, like this alone is a document, right? This is a document, this is a document, this is a document. Now each of these documents have their own fields, like schema, right? So now the fields here is the image is a field. This particular one, you can call it the name of the collection, or should I say document? Yeah, so name of the document, then the description here, right? So we basically have like three parts here. So we have the image, the name, and description. So, but we have in general how many? We have basically four documents here under a collection called food, right? So four documents under one collection called food. Then we are going to have under these food documents, we have another sub collection, right, which is the dishes. So and then and that's it. This other one just shows you the real dishes itself. Okay, so what else? Now on the drinks, we have on the drinks, this is not a collection. Drinks is not a collection because there's some complexity here that made the drinks not to be collection, because it's just going to complicate the whole thing. So basically this is just a static overview. It's not a list that is being generated from the database. This is a list that is generated from the database. I will show you what I mean, but this is not a list that is generated from the database. Now if you click on it, this is just like normal designs, like then you add an action to it and it will take you to another page. So if I tap on this now, this brings me a list. This is a list from a database, right? And then under this list we have another list, which is okay, let's go back. Wine. We have this is another, this one is called, like, this is like a sub collection of the other list, right? Okay, don't get confused, right? So let's just do it now so we can see what I mean. So we're going to create a collection. So you click here to click on start collection, to create a collection. Just call this collection food. This is going to be for collection food. So you click on next, then tap on this auto ID. Just tap on it to generate an ID here. Always do that. Then here, now this is a collection that we've created a collection called food. Now these are the documents I was talking about. Now, so for this particular part, food here, so we have like four documents, right? So we have continental, we have national, we have pastry, and we have grills. So now that's the same thing we want to create here. So we want to create four different documents. So how do you create the documents for, let's say, continental? The first one here is continental. So we're going to say name, give the field a name, and then you say here continental. So this is going to be, this is the variable. All right, so continental, this is like what stores the variable. This is like the container for this variable. Okay, so continental. Then we add another under these. This is the name of the name of the document, right? The thing you use in identifying it, right? So we need to add another field here. And okay, so all right, so I think I've mixed some things up there for you guys. Okay, so now this is not the name of the document, please. This is just a field in the name that's under a particular document. This is supposed to be the name of the document. You can actually write the name yourself, but I don't advise you to do that. That's why we had to just generate it auto ID. This is the name of this particular document under the food collection. These are just the fields, the schemas under this particular document. Okay, don't worry. You just get used to these and practice it. So the name here, the next thing is we have image, right? So if you see here, we have, let's come back here. So we have the name, then we have image, then we have description. So we'll just do it like that. The image name here is a string. So the variable type is string, or data type is string. Then here, string basically means text, like text and numbers combined together and characters. That's what string means. Then if you click on this, you see other types of data types. So we have number, which is just basically number. Boolean is true or false. Map is something else. Array is something else, more like a list. Then null, timestamp, this is what you use in the attendance list. Then geopoint and references. So we'll talk about this later. Let's just focus on the basics, right? So here in the image, then the next one is going to be description. Okay, so we have description. Then here, I did write some few things, but I didn't write the description here. So let's say this continental. Let's just say tasty continental meals. Continental meals, right? So then here is the value of the image. So this is where we are going to copy the image address somewhere on the internet, and I already did that so we don't waste time. So that's continental meal. And oh, I didn't. So under this is the afang. I didn't for continental. Whoa, I didn't do a lot for the food part. Okay, so I'm just gonna search for an image, right? Let's just say local Nigerian food. Nigerian food. Right. So I'll just look for something. This looks good. I don't know. This was what I was trying to avoid. I didn't want us to search for images, but I think I didn't save one. So I'll just click on the image, then I'll copy image address. All right, then I'll come back here, then I'll paste it here. All right, so we have an image now. So I'll just go ahead and save this. So we've created one collection. That means we've created the place where we've saved one information. So we have to do for the remaining three now. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So here you click on add another document. So this is the first document that we did, and it has these fields. All right, so you can actually add field here if you want. So let's add another field. Click on auto ID and then give it name. Now try to maintain your convention of your fields, right? So if at all you want them to be uniform. So name here is going to be national, then pastry. Okay, so let's call it national. Okay, then we add another field, we call it description. Now, one of the most difficult part of building mobile application, right, with FlutterFlow is the part that has to do with the database. Yeah, so because you have to like get it right here. Yeah, so national meals, national tasty meals. Okay. All right, then we add another one. You can arrange it anyhow you want here. It's not going to be a problem because I can remember I did image before description before. So, but just make sure that the names are the same. So image here is string as well. So national, I'm just going to use another picture here. What do we have? Okay, here. I'll just copy your picture. Copy an image. Okay, so then paste this here. Yeah, that's it. So then I'll save it. So that's for national meals. National. Then the next one is okay, guys, I'm not gonna do for all of these things, right? So I want us to get it right. So I'm not gonna put every single data here. So we have continental, we have national. I might not put the pastry and the grills. I will start setting up this particular part. Okay, so time might not permit me to like go into like real detail, but now you've seen how I'm adding it. Later on, maybe towards the end, we can just come back and add extra documents and it will still work out for us. Okay, so added for food. Now the next thing we need to do just at once, since we are still working on this, is we need to go ahead and add a sub collection for the meals. So here you see these are like the real meals, like the meals themselves, like the names of the meals, but we don't have the real dishes. This is continental, national pastry and all of that. So we need to have like the real dishes. So that's why if you click on here, you can now see all the dishes under each of those big menus, right? So now I want to create a sub collection in each of these documents. So you can click here, either of the documents, and click start collection. See where I click the start collection here, start collection. Then I will give the collection a name. This is a sub collection now. That means it's under food. It's a sub collection. So we will call these dishes. Now, dishes will maintain the name for each of the documents. So we will always call it dishes. So then click on auto ID to add the fields for the dishes. So here we say name, and then here, so I think I did something for that. So under continental, I have afang, so I'll just copy the image here. That's what I want to do. So here I'll call it afang. Afang is a very nice meal in Nigeria. Okay, so then I'm gonna add. Did it have description? No, it doesn't have. Okay, made with dried meat. There's a description. So yes, we'll add a description. And then so afang made with dried fish and snails. Yummy. Okay, so then we'll add another one. We'll call it image. Okay, so then image here. Then we add. I copied the image directory from here. Okay, so this is it. Then I'll just go ahead and click on save. So now I've created a sub collection on the. Let's see it. So now for this particular meal, that's the national meal, I have dishes, right? So inside the dishes, I have another collection, a sub collection called afang. So I can create another sub collection here, and then I will say name, and then okra, and then I'll say description. Okay, so made with, is it shrimps or prawns? I think prawns. Made with prawns and periwinkle. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's it. Then add another field. We say image. And then let's go to, let me get the picture. So I'll click here and copy the address of the image. Then I'll just paste it here. So then click on save. So now I've created two sub collections on the national meals, right? So this might be a bit complicated for your first time, so you might just have to rewatch the video. Okay, so let's go back to the collection. So food has two documents. Now the document is not continental and national. Now on the national, we have dishes as a sub collection, which I clicked here to create it. And then so now I've created that. I need to now create the same sub collection here on the continental, right? So I think I have some things for continental. Oh, that was actually continental. Okay, guys. So yeah, that was for continental, but there's no problem. We'll leave it like that. So I won't go ahead to create for this. I just needed to create it so that you can see that that's how you can create a sub what is it called, sub collection, right? So for us to be really quick and get to do this for real, let's go back. We've created for food, so that's fine. We've created both a collection and a sub collection for at least one of the documents. So now let's create another collection now. So for us to create this particular part where we have the drinks, so this is not going to be these two parts, right? The alcoholic and the non-alcoholic drinks. It's not a collection. It's not gotten from database. We're not querying the database to get this. We just put it on the design. Let me show you what I mean. So let's come back to the FlutterFlow application and then just set up the drinks part. So here, this is drinks. So I said alcoholic. So I'll just tap on here, change the name to alcoholic drinks. Alcoholic. Alcoholic drinks. Okay, so I'll take off this. I'll delete this particular part. Then here, I'll just change. I'll click on the icon and change it. If you come here, you will see that you can click here to tap to change the icon. So let's say right. Just type the name of the icon. So I just want right. Yeah, this is it, like this. Then for this is supposed to be an image of an alcoholic brand. So I didn't save that. So alcoholic drinks image. So something like that. Then I can pick all of this. Yeah, so why is it all martini? Okay, now I was really trying to avoid this. So copy image address and then come here, click on the image itself. Then you see here now images are either created from network or they are as assets. So if you click on as asset, you'll be able to upload the image from your system. So, but I'm just gonna use network. So you click here, remove all of this, and then paste your own image, right? Paste the link to the image. So it shows here. All right. So you see. Okay. So I'll go ahead and duplicate this. Click on the this container. This is a container, right? You click on it. Then I'll just say Control D. So that's to duplicate the container here. So I have another container here. So I'll just click on this and say non-alcoholic drinks. All right. So this is what I meant. So I can click here. Let's go to non-alcoholic drinks image. Okay, so maybe something like this. Okay, so come on. All right, so right click, copy image address. Where are we? Okay, so I know I might be speeding up a little bit. I'm trying to do this so that we can somehow still stick to our 1 hour. I knew this was supposed to be a 2-hour class, but let's see if at all we can make it in 1 hour. You can always like rewatch the video to catch up. Okay, so here, this is what I meant. So we did not create these from the database. Now let me show you how we can create the other one from the database before we now start creating don't forget, we have not created a collection for drinks yet. Like not like drinks for the alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. We will need to create that. So we have not created it yet. So, but I've showed you how this is done without having to get it from database. So we didn't use, we didn't query anything. Okay, so but now let's come here to the food part, and then we can go ahead and then I'll select the container, then I'll delete. I just need only one of these containers and the contents. So here I can click here to change the icon to the right arrow, like right. Okay, I want to just change that icon to this, right? So like this. Now, there is something I need you to pay attention to. Now, this particular container, right? And there are like lots of things inside it. This image is inside a container. Then this text is inside a column that is, don't worry, we're going to learn how this was all done. But what I want you to pay attention to is this container is what is going to repeat, right? But now the thing, like, it's going to duplicate itself just like this, but now it to be as a result of you querying the database. It will repeat like this without you having to Control D, or that's copy and duplicate it. It will come from the database now, but for it to be able to for you to be able to get it from the database duplicating, it has to be inside an element, a widget called list view. See now, right? So this container is inside another element called list view. So without it being inside the list view, it will be impossible for you to actually query a list of data from Firebase, right? So how do we now get these data of the food here to show all of it? Now, the very first thing you need to know is that since you've created a schema for food here in Firebase, you need to also create the same schema for food in FlutterFlow. So before we go ahead and query this to show it here, we have to come to Firestore. We have to come to Firestore. Then we will click on it's called, let me see, what's the name of this icon? It's supposed to pop up the name. Let's see. It's called Firestore. So you just click on this, right? Then it will bring you here. So your user's schema was created for you, like as soon as you said you turned on your authentication at the beginning of the application, right? So then we'll click here to add a new collection. We'll call it foods. Did we call it food or foods? So because you have to make sure that it's the same name. So food, right? They're asking you, is it a sub collection? No, it's not a sub collection. When it's time for us to create a sub collection, which is dishes, we'll have to check that button. So I'll click from start from scratch. Then here, the field names, just like we have here. See, the field name here is image, name, and description. So we'll do the same thing here. Image, the image is a photo path. All right, so please, it's a photo path. So the data type is a photo path, but here we use string, I know. But when it comes to FlutterFlow, it knows it as image path. That's a photo path, but when you click on it to show here image path, so just leave it like that. Then here we will say description. Please make sure that your spelling is correct. Like what you use here is the same spelling you use in the other side. If it is not the same, it will have errors. So you click here for description is also string. Then you click on this. Then we've done image, so we now do name. So name is a string as well. Right. So these are all the fields that was under the food collection, right? Just like we have here. Okay. So we need to create another one. Let's create another collection called dishes. So now this is not a collection, it is actually a sub collection. So we have to check this. The dishes was under the food collection, so it's a sub collection. So we have to check this icon. Then we'll have to now select the particular part where it belongs to. So the dishes belongs to food collection. So we select it and then we click on create. Then we have to now set up the schema. So we start from scratch. Now look at it. Now for the dishes collection, we'll click on here. Right, you see that it had just three fields here: image, name, and description. So we have, let's start with name, image is photo path, okay. Then description is a string. So we have here like this. Okay, so now like this, now we've set up our schema like for both the food and the dishes, right? So we can actually come back to settings. You click on settings to say validate, for it to just check if at all everything works. But I'm very sure everything works. We've not made any mistake, but you can just still double check it to avoid having errors you don't really understand how you got it. So when it's successful, it's right here, successful. So we'll just wait briefly for that. Okay, so let's see how this goes. All right. It's not showing yet. Okay, so yeah, it says successful. So we are fine now. So I'll come back to the widget tree. Now that we have set up our structure, our data collection for food in Firestore, we have also set up the collection, the collection here in FlutterFlow. Everything is a match, right? What we need to do now is we need to go ahead and then query this collection and make everything that is on our database to show here. How do we do that? Now we will click on the list view, because it's only list view that can allow you to show a list of something. But if you don't want it to be a list of something, you can touch you can query a container, you can query any other widgets to give you something, right? But if you want it to come out as a list, then you have to use a list view widget. So here it's a list view. So I'll click on the list view, see it here. Then I will come to this part, the right hand side of the dashboard. Then I'll do a backend query. So you come here, you click here, and then it says add backend query. So we want to query the backend. That's the database. Now it says query type. What kind of query do you want to make? So I want to query a collection. I will show you the difference between querying document from reference and querying collection. All right. So it might get a little bit complicated, but you might just have to rewatch the video later. So query collection, and then we will go ahead and select the collection that we wanted to query. We said, okay, we wanted to query the collection, but so now what kind of collection? Wanted to query the food collection, right? Because we want to show the food here, the different food collections here. So now it says query type. Do you want a list of documents, or you want a single document or account? Now we want a list of documents, because our food is more than one. Our food collection is more than one document. All right. So we select list of documents. Then the next thing we need to do is we'll go ahead and click on confirm. All right, so we confirm, then confirm here as well. Now it shows you that, okay, yes, what is going to show here eventually is a list of documents. All right, so if I go ahead and then let me see if this is going to allow me to see what is happening from database, because that's faster to see than any other thing. Oh, it doesn't. It just still shows me only the static images here. Okay, so what we're now going to do is, instead of moving to the next step, let's see what we have done so far. Okay, so let's go ahead and then run, just use a normal run mode. So you click on the drop down icon here, then you see the button here, run. So you click on run. And then while that is running, right, because of course, I believe you know already by now that it takes like roughly about 2 minutes for it to finish. I won't wait for that to happen. I will come back to Firestore. Then I'll create a collection for our alcoholic drinks and our non-alcoholic drinks. Now, it is almost the same setup. I would have said, okay, let's stop there and then maybe like implement the other parts. Then you can just use the same knowledge to do this. Like, but I don't want to be like a conventional teacher, right? I want us to like do it together. So, but now what we did there is the same thing we're going to do here. But now when you click on here, it's going to show you like the list of a particular collection called alcoholic, right? So that means alcoholic is a collection, and then here are the documents. So let's come here to the collection. Let's click on start collection. Then we'll create a collection here called alcoholic, and then we click on next. Auto ID, we say name. All right, so it has like basically two fields, right? Just the image and the name, right? So name, so we say spirits, right? So we have spirits, and then here we have spirits, and then here we have image. The image is a string. All right, so let's come here and get spirits. Where is it? So I have the image address for spirits. So I'll just paste it here. So our run mode has finished, so we will check it, but let me just save this first. And then I will create, this is one of the collections under alcoholic drinks. So I'll create another document, sorry, a document under alcoholic drinks collection. So auto ID, then I'll say name. So there was beer, right? And then here is the image. Okay, then I'll come here and I had just written this out. So beer is going to be this. I copy it and I paste it here and save. Add another document. This is going to be for what? For wine, right? So we'll say name our wine, add field, we will say image and the paste. Okay. I hope we didn't like wait, we didn't. Uh-oh. Let's go copy the wine. I didn't copy the correct thing. So wine. So this was wine. Let's correct this. Okay, so update. Okay, so now I've created a particular collection called alcoholic, and then under that I've created like 3 documents, which is wine, spirits, and beer, right? So then under this alcoholic, right, I'm going to have I'm supposed to create another collection called non-alcoholic. Now I'm not going to do that. Now I'm going to give you guys that as an assignment to complete it and all of that. So if you can't, then we'll just continue it in the next class. But I would like you to follow the same thing that I have said. You have to create another collection here called non-alcoholic, and then do the same thing that happened here, create a document, and then do all of this. But if we have time towards the end, we will still do it. I just want us to get to a certain extent first. So yeah, now we have okay, so now this is not working the way I want it to work. Alcoholic drinks. Oh, okay, so yes, it's not working the way I want it. Now it has queried things all right, but it is not showing what I wanted it to show, right? Because it is it is actually getting information from the from the database, but I did not select what the different fields, right? So yeah, close this. Let's come back here. Now I did query the backend. I queried the backend, but now I didn't select each of these images to fix it, right? So I'm supposed to click on this image. So I'll click on the image here, then set from variable, click on set from variable. then go to food document. Yeah, so, and then select the image, then click on this particular text here. This is going to be our name. I'll click on set from variable. I'll say food document, then I'll click on name. Then this is going to be description. Click on that, set from variable, food document, and description. Yeah, so like that now. So if at all we run it again, we should see everything correct. Okay, so while we're gonna still wait for that, I have done this, and the next thing I would like us to do is let's just go ahead and just do it at once. All right, so start collection, let's say non-alcoholic, and then next auto ID. So we have name, non-alcoholic. Let's see the different brands, like different aspect of non-alcoholic drinks. So we have soft drink, juices, cocktail, and smoothie. So we have name is let's say soft drink. So soft. So here is image. So we go ahead and then put an image here. So we say soft. Where is the soft drinks? Okay. Click copy it and paste it here. Then so I've created a collection called non-alcoholic, and then I'm adding the different fields. So I'm going to add just like 2 fields. I don't want to add too much, so just so that you can see what I'm doing. Name is let's say juices, then here image. I believe you understand what I'm doing. So juices, let's go get the image address. Okay, then I save it. So now we've created 2 collections, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. Now inside these collections, right, we need to create like sub collections called brands. Now let's look at what I did here. So inside this, so if you click on softs, there are some brands inside. There's Coke. Coke is like a soft drink, right? So we can just call it brands. So the sub collection here, okay, let's look at this application. Let's look at what it had finished doing. Okay, so it's still loading. It's gonna show it in a couple of seconds. All right, so guys, I don't know, I'm sure I give you guys a disclaimer that this was gonna be intense. Yeah, so this is the real deal. Now if at all you've been part of yeah, so this is it. It shows continental and national. Yeah, so I didn't create the other ones. So continental and national. So everything works now. Then drinks is just the alcoholic and non-alcoholic, right? So now, but we can't click anything to take us anywhere in this application, not yet. So that's like the next level of difficulty, and it might hurt a little bit. So, but with practice, you'll just get to know how to do it. One of the beautiful things about FlutterFlow, it's a little bit hard, right? But now there's a lot of advantages, like the Firebase is an advantage, and you can customize every single thing, right? So just be patient to learn it, and then you'll get to understand it. We will keep repeating it, like today we're gonna have a lab. Yeah, so after now I'm going to like create a poll and request for students who are a little bit familiar with what has happened on the Logino app, and then they can teach it. And then tomorrow we'll have a lab for these, so people that are familiar with this can also teach. I will be part of the class. Yeah, I'll be part of the lab, and then I will also see how I can help. Okay, so that's it. So don't be worried don't be like, oh, this is not for me, it's too hard. No, I know it's hard, but you have to just learn how to do hard things, and that's how you succeed. Okay, so so we've done this part. Now the next thing we need to do is next thing we need to do is okay, yeah, we're still in the database side. So non-alcoholic, we need to create a sub collection for one of the parts. I just want to create one part, so let's go for the soft drink. So I'll add a sub collection. So I'll click here to start. If you click this start collection inside the collection already, that's a sub collection. So I click to start collection. I'll call these brands. So these are like the brands under the okay. So now I'm not gonna call it brands. I'm gonna call it non-alcoholic brands, right? I want to be able to differentiate it. So non-alcoholic brands. Okay, so I'll call it like that. Then that's the name of the sub collection. Then auto ID. So I'll say name, Coke. Then I'll come here and say image. So image should be here. Then this one has a couple of things. It has price. Sorry, small letters. I just want to use small letters. So to maintain consistency. So price here is gonna be a number. And then let's put some numbers here. So maybe $10, 10. Then here is gonna be description. So yeah, the brand itself has some description. Do we need a description? Well, just put description. Maybe saved code, saved with something. Yeah, description. Saved code and warm. Okay, so something like this. Then image. So let's go to here and pick for cog. Here, and then like this. Then save. So we now have a sub collection under non-alcoholic drinks, which is called non-alcoholic brands. All right, so I will just do only one. Then let's come back to the beginning. I just clicked on the home to bring me here. So I'll come back to alcoholic drinks. Then did I have something there? Yeah, so alcoholic drinks. Under alcoholic drinks, I think I went for wine, right? So wine, I'll just click to create a sub collection here. So I click on start and I'll call this sorry, this is gonna be alcoholic brands. Okay, so you have to remember this name because you're going to put it on FlutterFlow as well. So auto ID, you say name. What is the name? I came up with a name like Carlo Rossi. Let me just copy the name at once. So Carlo Rossi. Then let's say image. Paste the link. Then price is gonna be number. Price is $200 maybe. Then description served in wine glass. Okay, so save. Now we have created a sub collection for both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks, right? So okay, now that we've done that, now let's go to the really hard part, but it's gonna be nice, guys. So you might just you will definitely need to just rewatch this again. So just to be sure, let me check the studio and be sure everything is all good. Okay, some guys are saying auto IDs are scary. Okay, guys, don't be scared. Yeah, it's hard stuff, but it's okay. You're going to learn it. It's of course it's way simpler than coding. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and then look at one more thing. Then we will go ahead, like we'll be done very soon. This is like the hard part, but it is simple. We will just create it quickly. Okay, so what else do we do? Okay, so for us to go ahead, we're going to we need to go ahead and then create a direction. Now we want it such that if you observe in the application, right? So if a user clicks on food, let's say, go back forward. If a user clicks on food, like here now, it takes the person to another screen. And if you observe, it's different from what we had before. So that means we need another screen for this. All right, we need another screen for it. So we need to go ahead and add another page. So this was the home page, right? So we need to come here, click on this new page, and then we're going to add another page to it. Let's go to list and look for a page we can use. Is it list? Yes, list. So which one should I use? I think we can use this. Was that what I use? I just want to use something similar to what I used before. Okay, so yeah, I can use this. I will use this. Then I'll call this let's call this food, right? Is it food? So we click on the food menu, it takes us to Where does it take us to? It takes us to the dishes, right? So let's say dishes. So click on create page. All right, so this is it. We will just change this some few things. Let's call this dishes. All right, so now latest dishes. Okay, then we will delete most of these collections. All right, so I think the best thing is just come to the widget tree here and then select the containers. Don't select the first select the first one. Just select other ones, then you delete it. Select another one and delete it. Select another one and delete it. We just need one because we're going to be using we're going to be getting data from the from Firebase, so we don't want to like duplicate it. So dishes, then let's change this thing to, let's change the icon. So you click on this, then come down here, click and say cards. This is supposed to be our card icon. We haven't implemented that. We will over time. Then we have done this. So if you click on what is it called, the continental, the food menu, it shows you the dishes, right? To show you the name of the dish, the name of the food, and then the dishes under it, right? So that's exactly what we're trying to do right now. So now that I've set this up, I still need to duplicate this for other things. So let's say let me say control, let's right click on it. I want to duplicate it a couple of times. I will just use the same thing for a while. Duplicate again, and maybe one more time. Okay, so I will show you how I'm going to use all of this. So we have the dishes. So the next thing we're going to need is when you click to view dishes, you see dishes details. Now look at this. So if it shows you the dishes, so you click on this, it shows you dishes details, right? So let's come back here. So we don't want it for that. We need for, let's click on this one and change the name from, click here to change the name. Let's call it alcoholic brands. Right, so alcoholic brands. So this is gonna be the screen we're gonna use to display alcoholic brands. Okay, so let's just call it here alcoholic brands. Alcoholic brands. We will change this name dynamically. All right, so don't worry about this. I just wanted us to change this one. So alcoholic brands, then click on this, stop this, click on this. Let's call this non-alcoholic brands. All right, I know we're a couple of minutes after the time, so but it wouldn't really make sense if we end the class here. Yeah, because we have not achieved like the real aim of the lessons. So let's just stretch a little bit more, guys. All right, hang in there. So here we have non-alcoholic brands, alcoholic brands. Then here, what else do we have here? Let's go back to the application and see what happens. Okay, so let's see. Alcoholic, this is done. So non-alcoholic brands, right? This one is not going to be, let's say wine. Okay. So all right, let me see. Okay, before we continue, right, let's just we have for dishes, right? So the next thing for dishes is going to be dishes details, alcoholic brands, right? So it's going to show us alcoholic brands, is going to show us alcoholics. So click on it. Is this a display? Yeah, this is another list. So so let's say how do we call that? Alcoholic brands, non-alcoholic brands. Let's say I don't know, we can call it anything. Let's say alcoholic alcoholic brands list. something like that. Don't worry, we might just give it another name later. But all right, so let's leave it like that. So now let's see what we can make out of what we've done so far. So here we have created home, right? The home is like the list of the documents that we're using. Why don't I have a picture here? Okay. All right, so the home is here. Okay, yeah, it's showing now. So the home is here, and then we have this. So we want a situation whereby when you click on this, it's gonna take you to another. It's gonna take you to another. What is it called? Another screen, right? So you can see other things. So what we're going to do now is let's push the difficulty level just one more bit. Then after that, we'll end the class release. Then you can just you try to like do repeat everything to where we stop. All right. So now we just want a situation whereby when the user clicks on the area around this, the user will be taken to another screen. That's the dishes screen, right? Want the user to be taken to the dishes screen. So what we do here is we will just hover around here. You see the row, right? You see the row there. So you just click on it. All right. Then now that you've clicked on it, what you need to do is come to actions here, click on actions, and then click on add actions. And then we have a lot of things here. So it says on tap, on double tap, and all of that. We just want to do navigate to. So navigate to what? To dishes. Yeah, because we want to navigate from the food list to the dishes. Okay. So you click on dishes, and then you have to go ahead and define the parameters, because now there's something that we're going to create which will make things really nice. So you click on define. It will take you to the page that you're redirecting your user to when they click that the area around that space, right? So it will take you here. And so now you need to go ahead and add a parameter. Now, this is where we might just need to read something. It said define the parameters that are passed into this page and will be used by widgets inside of it. Now, that simply means that define now that we are transferring, like we are like transferring our user from the previous page to the next page. Now, there are certain information that are from the previous page that we want to transfer to the next one. That means we're transferring those features, those contents, and the sub collections. That means all the details of the collections and the sub collections, because that's the only way we can now go ahead and then catch it from here, right? Catch it on the second screen, which is this screen now, the screen that's supposed to show us dishes. Yeah, when we've finished this particular part, we will stop because I wouldn't want us to like break. Yeah, so it's in the next 10 minutes we should be done with this class, right? So yeah, so it doesn't get to be too heated up. Okay, so I'll click here to add parameter, and then I need to just give the parameter a name. So I like using like correct convention. So now I'm passing the details of the food here. So I call it a reference, right? So I'm trying to reference the details of the food page, right? So I'll just call it food reference, food ref, right? So I just call it like that. Then I'll click on, it says type. What type of passing are you doing? Like, how are you doing it? So I'm passing it as a document reference. I want it to be possible that I can reference it later, right? So you choose document reference, then collection type. What collections are you actually passing to this page? I'm passing food. Now under food, we have dishes, so don't worry about that. Then after that, I'll click on confirm. All right, it will bring me back to this particular page. Then I need to pass that reference, that parameter I just created. I need to like pass it at once. I was defining it at first. Now I want to pass it. So I'll click on pass. And then it shows here that, oh, there's a food parameter. So I click on it. Then it shows me other things. So it's a food ref. Then I'll click on sets. Then I see the things that it tells me here. All I just need to do is I'll go to the food document and click on the reference. That's just how to do it. Okay, then I'll click on confirm. Now this is a little bit complex, and that's why I won't really like move further again from this so that we don't like break out. Okay, so now that I've done that, I need to go to the page that I passed it to. I'll go to dishes. This is the page that I passed it to. Now, if you click on come to the widget tree and then click at the top of the widget tree, dishes, you see here that there is a document reference called food ref that has been passed to this screen. That simply means that data from the previous screen has been passed down here. Now it simply means you can catch it here. How do you catch it? So I'll click on I've already clicked on the top of this. Then I'll come here to query, add backend query. Now, just like we did the other one, we will select the query type, but we're not querying collection. Don't forget, we set the other one as reference. So we are querying document from reference. And then what collection are you querying for? We're still querying the same food, right? And then what else are we doing? Click on onset. So we need to now go ahead and then select the parameter. So what we need to go here is we just select the food ref here. All right. So we select the food ref and then confirm, and we're good. Now we've like, passed everything here and we've set it up. Now we need to go ahead and then work on this list view. This list view is supposed to now show the display of the different details that are from our collection, right? Don't forget, we want to display only dishes here, and dishes is under the food ref, which is the food collection. So we'll click on the list view, right? Then we'll do our normal query now. So we'll come to here, add backend query. We'll be querying a collection. What kind of collection? We're querying dishes, value source from variable, click on onset and say food document, and then reference, and then confirm. Okay, so, and confirm again here, and confirm again here. Yeah, I know that's a lot to chew. That's so much to chew, right? So now we've done that, and then it now shows the list of items, right? So now we need to go ahead and then tell it that, okay, whenever it sees an image here, it should just show us the image from, the database. So we click on the image here, come to set from variable, click on set from variable, then you will see the dishes document. You click on it, and then you click on image. You click on this particular one, and then you set from variable and say dishes document and name. You come here. This is going to be a description, set from variable, dishes document description. Then here, this one is going to be, did we use price? Yes, I think so. So click from this dishes document. Okay, there was no price. Yeah, so there was no price. We're supposed to add price to that, but we didn't. Yeah, so we don't have price. We're supposed to have price. Let's see. So come on. Okay, so we click in here, right? It brings us here. It's supposed to have, the dishes are supposed to have prices. So we didn't add it, so we can quickly do that quickly before we're gonna end the class in 5 to 6 minutes. So dishes, continental, dishes, click on dishes, our documents. Okay, we're supposed to add price, so let's add another field and say price. Okay, so price is a number, and let's just say 33. Then click these other documents, add another field, say price. And whatever you add here, always remember to add it in the other side. That's FlutterFlow. So let's say 20. Okay, so I will come back here to FlutterFlow and add it under, okay, under my dishes, I'll add here price. So I'll say integer, and then that's it. Okay, so we'll come back here. And then now I'll click on set from variable, dishes document, price. Then available option, click here, say number format, and number format options, click on it, say custom specific format, then display as currency, check, confirm, and we're good. All right. Okay, so now this is how you do it. Now, so we can just go ahead and then run it, and then that will be the end of the class for today. Let's not heat it up, because if we heat it up, a lot of persons could like really not be excited about it anymore. So guys, this is me trying to convince you again. This is the way. So if I told you you've watched the movie called Mandalorian, yeah, it's actually a Star Wars movie. I love the movie. So there's a group of individuals called the Mandalorians, right? So they wear like helmets, people don't see their faces, and so they like saying this is the way when things get hard. And they'll just say this is the way. So this is just the way of things, the way of life, right? So it gets hard, you still stay on it. You run away from it, it doesn't make sense. So you stick to it until it works, right? So you're going to have to just repeat it. Like the way you learn it is you have to learn it by repetition. Try do it over and over again. Tell it to yourself, and participate in labs so that you can try to teach others. It doesn't matter if you break down and make mistakes, no problem. No one is gonna laugh at you, right? So you just have to try. It's hard. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to just show what we have done, then we can just finish up. I'm not gonna do anything else again. So let's just see. It's gonna take some time, guys. So while this is going on, what else can I do? Okay, so okay, while that is just going on, let me just come back to I'm not teaching again. I'm going to come to settings and just publish it. All right, so so for you to publish your application, you come to the settings icon here, and then come to web publishing, and then you see you can give it a name here. So I'm just going to change it to Fudo. I think the name should be available, right? So Fudo. So I'm the one taking this domain name. So then click on open platform settings, then check enable, that enables deep linking, and then go back to web publishing, and then that's it. You can go ahead and then publish your application. So I'll just publish it so I can reserve the subdomain. Yeah, so that's like the idea. And we don't have much to do again. We're waiting for the this particular application to finish running so we can test what we have done, and then we close the class in the next 2 minutes. Let's say it finishes. Then from there I'll just have a talk with everyone, because I know that I am very sure that you guys are like breaking down now. I'm like, man, this is not what I signed up for. It's too hard. I know it's too hard, but it's not too hard. If you just do it over and over and over again, you will get it right. It's one of the best things that can happen to you if you know how to use FlutterFlow, Firebase, build web applications, right? It's one of the best. It's gonna put food on your table. Like, I'm serious. It's even gonna buy a new table. So that's me being funny. So yeah, it has finished loading, so it's gonna show very soon. Yeah, so don't crack on this. Don't crack on it at all. You're going to be fine. You're going to know how to do this thing, and it's gonna work out. So we click on it. So now it's showing, like my cursor is showing that, okay, this is clickable. So I can click on it, and oh, there's nothing there, no dishes. So let's go to somewhere else, national. And yes, it shows. The other one, we didn't have any document. That's why under continental, we don't have anything. So we have in national, right? So it shows Alfang. Ooh, then it shows the price. It shows everything, right? So guys, that's like the end of today's training. And I'm going to stop sharing, and then we can look at each other's face. Yeah, I can see it. I can see I can see it. Yeah, that's it. It's heated up, guys. Yeah, it's higher. Let me go back to just see the comments. All right, so I'm sorry we've taken extra 20 minutes. I was very sure it was not going to be possible to do 1 hour, but I didn't want to burn 2 hours today. Yeah, so what's the difference between according to Rita, what's the difference between production mode and test mode? Okay, so production mode is when you want to go live, like you want to take your application up like into the air, right? So I mean, like you want to start using it, so you're going to have to start to ensure some level of security, and so there are some higher level of securities you need to like ensure that your application has. So for now, we don't really want all of the securities yet, right? So we just want to do the basic stuff. Then towards the end of the training, right, I will show you how to use production mode, and then you can go live on your project, right? So that's it. So I'll just check out some questions. How do we automate this database creation in Firebase if we have large amount of data to create? For you to automate it, I think I'm gonna take a class on that at some point, right? Yeah, yeah, but you're going to still be doing so much of manual creation of your database in Firebase, right? So yeah, because like that, it's a little bit safe, so that you don't get to, like, break things. Okay, so that was for Abiodun's question. And price, how do we, oh, by price you mean price of Firebase? Okay, so if it's Firebase, no, FlutterFlow, right? FlutterFlow is very cheap, so not cheap, I mean, like, it's affordable. So you can spend, like, I think $22 per month for the platform. So yeah, it's fair. Do we have to create a database for every screen? No, we don't have to create a database for every screen. We just have to create, depending on your project, you just have to create database depending on what you're working on, really. Yeah. So I think at some point we'll just have a class on just database, and why, maybe different projects and the kind of database you should have, and all of that, something like that, to make a lot of sense, right? Okay, so uh okay, so Tech Nexus said something funny. Okay, so I should slow down and turn on top. It's really that's just how it is, right? It's going to get intense, but we will be fine. Like, I can assure you guys, we'll be fine. So okay, so what other question do we have here? Ah, Jesu Joba, don't worry, you will catch up. Bethan and everyone else. Bami Femi, everything will be fine, guys. Okay, so I think that's all the comments I got there. So we are done. We're done with the lesson, and just try and when I end the broadcast, you still have access to it. Just go through it, and then practice it to the point that we stopped, and then tomorrow we will have labs. Yeah, we'll have labs, and then we'll have a short class again, a continuation of this, right? Yeah, so we'll just have a continuation of this, and then I'll try to refresh, like, I'll try to redo it. Not like redo everything, I'll just try to show you guys all over again what I did and how it was done, and then we'll be fine. It's hard, I know, but with time you get used to it. All right, so thank you very much, and we'll meet on WhatsApp. Okay, have a great evening. Thank you, bye. And please remember to punch out, like, try to sign out on the attendance application. Okay, thank you.